Welcome to episode number 60 of About the Cards podcast, live tonight on YouTube. As always, with my host, Junkwax Twins, Stephen Loeffler, at Our Trading Cards, Ben Wilson. I'm Tim Shepler at Big Shep 79. We are a podcast by collectors for collectors, hoping to bring you a smart and insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting. We're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. But now, guys, we're on Facebook Live. Welcome, Facebook. I'm going to look and see if we're there. Because, hey, Steph, what's up, bud? We're checking out to see if we're here on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook watching us, let us know. We're also going to be live. We should be live on Periscope, and I'm going to check that out right now as well.
Look at us cross-platform.
Yep, there we go. We are on Periscope. It's working. We're on YouTube. Hey, YouTube. And, yeah. Sweet. Now, real quick, is Facebook working? I can't.
It looks like it. I'm on there right now.
Okay. Sweet.
I see it.
All right, good.
Man, look at us. We're like grown-ups now.
Yeah, we had to change. We had to change to this new service because Google Hangouts went away. So we got this cool new setup. And we can do like banners and stuff. And then I found out through this cool service about another service that can provide us to send out to YouTube, or from YouTube to Facebook to Breakers TV to Periscope. And I know in the hobby that a lot of people are using Periscope. A lot of people are on Facebook. And as much as I hate Facebook, we're there now and we're on YouTube. I wanted to get the show out to as many people as possible. So it's fun. So it's what we've done this week.
John Newman, our partner, our fellow podcaster from Sports Card Nation's in the Facebook group right now, or
nice.
Streaming or whatever those kids these days call it. So
yeah,
it looks like it's working well.
Well, good, outstanding. You can always follow us on any of those channels. Now we're About the Cards. You can follow us on Twitter. That's where we live. About the Cards on Twitter. We're available as a podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Overcast, TuneIn, kind of wherever you get a podcast or consume one. We should be there. Check out our website, aboutthecards.wordpress.com. We just put up the Topps archives checklist that we launched this week. We've added a bunch of checklists. We're actually going back and adding we missed out on a lot of hockey and basketball this past year. So we'll be adding those checklists hopefully within the next week or so and getting caught up to have a database for you to go. And, basically on these checklists, just real quick as I explain it, we're just going to keep the base sets and stuff up there. Some of the sets that are auto heavy, we'll have those on there. But I want to get into the hundreds of autos some of these cards have. So,
let alone when they change the
numbering and all that
numbering
stuff.
And everything else,
yeah.
Teams.
So we have that. I'm glad that, Ben, you brought up John Newman. I actually sat down with John earlier this week, and I'm going to be on his Sports Card Nation podcast, which comes out tomorrow. So he does a bunch of different segments throughout the week, and he puts it together and has a great show. And that's going to be out on Friday morning. But our own Stephen Loeffler was sat down with Dr. James Beckett, or as he calls him, Jim. And he's going to be on Dr. James Beckett's Sports Card Insight podcast out tomorrow on Podbean. And that's exciting.
Very much.
So, real quick, give us a little insight on hanging out with Dr. Beckett, as you call him, Jim, which I was like, dude, you're that. That's like, yeah, that's like calling Captain Kirk Jim.
Well, so he was looking to try out a few services to see if he could branch out into more than just having Rich come over, and not that he doesn't mind Rich's presence. But he was looking to test it so he could have people that aren't necessarily from Texas. So, he could have like Tim on, or, someone, Sue's in New York on, or something like that. And so we hop on and just had a quick 10, 15-minute discussion. How I got into the hobby, what we do on this podcast, division of labor, He had a good comment that, if you factor in his 5 shows a week at 15, 20 minutes, it's essentially the length of our podcast. So just different ways of producing content.
So now that you're buddy with him,
yes,
we know a podcast that would love to have him on. Maybe
he mentioned to let him know when we have time to have him on for a weekend show or something to that.
Well, for certain people, like, any of our fans that would like to be on, we're always available on Sunday or can be. So let him know. We would love to have his insight.
I actually see him on Saturday.
So yeah, talk to him. I mean, not necessarily this Sunday, but a Sunday over the next month. Let's figure it out. And speaking of which, while we have Dr. Beckett on the line, we should probably also get Uncle Rich back on because awesome.
No, definitely. Some of the guys that really made this happen. So outstanding. Yeah, there we go. I'm making sure I have it here on Facebook, and we can see. All right, outstanding. Kevin Bo Jones, welcome. He's hanging out with us on Periscope. So we're going to get into the show tonight as we talk about the podcast crossovers. And I know that Ben, you were on with, was it Drew, right? Like about a month ago.
Yeah, it's probably been about let me get that autograph. And yeah, Drew's a great guy, great show. Much like John, I think he does all his stuff kind of pre-recorded with different recurring segments and whatnot. But Drew's really knowledgeable and is tuned in with the Facebook Hobby Scams group. So he has kind of a different insight, which is nice. Yeah,
no, definitely. And it's cool. We're, as Matthew Berry says, committing podultry as we get around to the different podcasts, but it shows that we were out there providing information in a cool, fun hobby, and we're not competing against each other, rather building the community together with podcasting, and I love that. So that we're, there's a little competition factor, but it's more of a fun one, and having a different point of view and other people on. So it's great. Over the past few weeks, we talked about that service Replin. It helps builders build their personal brands online and without selling them without the high fees, and allowing you to sell in, like, on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and a lot of social media sites. And last week we had their CEO on, Ji Chong, and he on the show, and he told us why a lot of people are using it for sports cards and collectibles. And basically, just sign up with your PayPal account and your credentials. You'll get to customize a page where buyers can pay you through PayPal goods and services. And then you can also connect all of your social media accounts in there. You can pull your eBay feedback in there. And then you can also now build this online reputation and not have to use eBay all of the time. But you get to bring all that eBay feedback with you. So it's pretty cool that they have their own system. They also have a marketplace they launched for folks to browse your items that they're being sold on Twitter, so you're not scrolling through days worth of stuff. You just tag on Replin. They will retweet your profile and your reputation, and then it gets sent to the marketplace. I have my own setup. It's replin.com/TBS Sports Cards with a few things I have up there right now. We have a link on the YouTube channel as well as the video. If you ever want to check it out, just head over to replin.com or download their app on iOS or Android. So, guys, we're going to hop into the week that was last week's releases. And we had a lot because we had 2 weeks we had to cover. But real quick, week 74 of Topps Living, we had card 220, Dansby Swanson, shortstop of the Braves. Card 221, John Mears, rookie pitcher of the Orioles. And card 222, Joey Gallo, DH, Texas Rangers. I don't have numbers. They didn't post. So we don't know. They're still counting all of the cards that Ken bought of this John Means.
7.
He spent all of his Means. So you say 7. He wants to know how many we thought. I think he bought 5. I think he bought 5. 5 is a nice, cool number. George Brett wore 5. Brandon Belt, he wears 9.
I think he did a multiplier of 2 on your number, Tim. I think he went with an even 10.
10? 10?
10.
He just 10.
And we know
is that what he said too? Because you know what? Could he have been Billy Bob in high school? 10. 10. And if you're listening to this, Ken, I'm kidding. I love Billy Bob, but
now what one thing is he tagged a couple people when we were joking about it this afternoon. And so I think that there's at least 3 more that sold. So basically, whatever number sold minus 3 confirmed.
Yeah,
it is
Yeah.
So I'm thinking 13 sold. Did you buy one?
I bought one.
Okay, so we're up to 14.
Yeah.
That's all we confirm. Well, assuming that my number's right.
Yeah.
If one of your numbers are right, then add 4.
Okay, so keep somebody keep track of that for us, would you? But you can always check out Top's Living Staff for full breakdown of where these cards fall respectively in the set by team and by position. So hopefully he'll have that out for us tomorrow. Tops will get those numbers out and he'll tweet that out and tag us, and we love that. So we had Topps Chrome baseball drop 2 weeks ago. 2019 Panini Majestic football, 2019 Panini Immaculate Collegiate football, which I heard amazing things from this, like the patches and that are coming out of this stuff with the Bulls and stuff. We talked about that, are just killing it, and the product is doing some of the best it's done in years. So
since you'd mentioned it,
yeah.
Does this?
Oh,
did we
lost him?
Oh, all right. I wonder what his question was going to be.
He's sharing a screen with us. For whatever reason. Steph, are you there?
Yeah. Wrong
okay.
button. So I guess this is the only Topps Chrome any of us is broke, right?
Well, no, yeah. You know what? No. I bought a we're going to get to this about National Baseball Card Day, but I bought a blaster. Let's talk about that later. I bought that Willens for $1 and I threw it in the garbage. So
I mean, I could have signed it and made it worth $2.
No, I'm kidding. It's in a pile for you. I have some around here. And then we also had 2018-19 Panini Contenders Optic basketball. That was all 2 weeks ago. This last week, 2019 Topps Tribute Baseball and 2019 Panini Donruss Football. And I watched our buddy Dub bust part of a box on Periscope of that. He's awesome he's always open a new product. And so whenever he pops with a video, I'll sit and watch him do a little box break, and it's fun. And you know what? It's a pretty good looking product this year. So SVA cards, what program are we using? We're using StreamYard.
StreamYard.
StreamYard. We found this. It's a pretty cool little setup. You can do a lot of different things with it. And it's been fun for us to upgrade. And so I did not throw a La Torta in the garbage. I'm just kidding.
So speaking of who just asked about that, we got a legend here in the chat room tonight. Topher from Kraken Wax.
Yes, look at that.
Look at that. He's up late, probably past his bedtime. We've invited him on the show in the past because if you're not breaking with Kraken Wax and Mojo and some of the other guys, I mean, Kraken Wax is great.
Definitely.
The logo and how he packages up his shipments.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Probably the classiest.
Yeah, and I mean, we forgive him for being a Twins fan. He's our only Twins fan. Who's one of our friends, Well,
and one of these days when we're actually up there, we'll have to get together because we've only been dodging each other left and right.
And a lot of his breaks, if not all, I'd have to ask him, or maybe he can share with us, are for charity.
Yeah, no, he has it in his handle.
All of them are.
I think all of them are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a fantastic friend of the podcast and ours. So we appreciate him staying up late.
Yeah, they're over $22,410 raised.
I would say hopefully we don't put you to sleep, but maybe we do.
No, we might.
You can always follow him at streamlabs.com/KrakenWax.
Yeah, and that's without the G, Kraken, with just the IN at the end.
Yep.
So.
Yeah,
and that was unpaid. That was that was just
spontaneous.
It was absolutely spontaneous.
Yes. Maybe one day his logo will be up here in the corner.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. We accept A's, Royals, and Twins cards.
Well, yeah, you're not going to get any Twins cards out of him, though, right?
I don't know. Maybe he's got some duplicates so he can send Steph's way. At the end, really, all we're after is A's and Royals. Of course, we just are obligated to throw the Twins in there.
Yeah. So hot off the press is this week's release is Topps Living Week 75. Can you believe we're almost 75? That's pretty awesome. Card 223, Vladimir Guerrero, Senior, Hall of Fame outfielder of the Montreal Expos. It's great to see an Expo.
As an Expo, I was so excited.
Yeah, and I got a little teaser for you guys later. Card 224, Spencer Turnbull, rookie pitcher, the Tigers, the worst team in Major League Baseball. And card 225, Max Kepler, outfielder, Minnesota Twins.
Maximilian.
Yep. I'm not sure anybody knows who he is.
Well, he's hit
not
34 home runs this year. I should hope.
His in his Bowman Chromes too. If you're a Bowman Chrome collector, his first Bowman Chrome autos are pretty reasonable. So
for 2010, but they have the wrong birth year. It actually lists 83, not 93.
Oh, well, that's
Thanks,
fun.
Tops.
Yeah. Well, at least they didn't call him like Sax Kepler or change his name.
I stand corrected. It's 32 this year so far.
Yes.
Knock on wood.
No, not an exciting week, but I did like seeing Vladimir. I think that with the Expos hat, that'll get some love. So
it's gorgeous. You want to share me so I can show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while we're doing that, it's funny because a lot of people are going to put him as an angel possibly as far as the Hall of Fame. I don't know if it's already been announced what he's going to go in as or whatnot, but once he's voted in,
who?
Guerrero.
He's already in the Hall of Fame.
He got in last year. That's why I was a little confused. I'm trying to overthink myself, so I apologize. But he went in as an angel, did he not?
I don't remember.
I thought it was Expos.
I don't think so.
No, I think it was an angel, by the way.
That's why it was cool to see an Expo, just because a set like this, to see like the Ralph Kiner with the old Pirates logo and stuff.
Yeah, he went in as an angel.
Yeah, we need to see some more of the non.
Becoming the first player to do so. He's the first angel in the Hall of Fame.
Is this the first Expo or was somebody else an Expo already for the living
Jared
set?
Carter?
Nope.
Maybe.
He's the first Expo.
They didn't make Carter yet, have they?
No.
Oh, in the set, yes. Sorry.
No. Just in the set.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were asking Hall of Fame.
He'd also be the first non-current team, right? Or was there somebody else?
Non-existent
defunct team.
Kind of not because they became the Nationals, but the name went away. So it's not one of the Washington Senators. It's not a Brown.
Maybe the Cleveland Naps.
But they haven't made that card yet, though, right?
That's what we're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Matt in the chat room can.
Oh God, that Michael Lorenzen looks scary. Good Lord, it looks like a wrinkled dingus.
It looks like a knockoff movie alien.
Oh, so by the way, I bought a Topps set, the Buster Posey, and I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. I bought one of those, and they were numbered out of 100, but there was only 98 Posies that sold, and I think I had like 39. Oh, yeah, okay. Once a Cub comes in with the smart answer, Milwaukee Braves and Brooklyn Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess that's where you start to get in that gray area. They're not technically in Milwaukee, but the Braves still exist.
Yeah, so there's a little gray area, I guess.
The Dodgers, but the Expos actually stopped and rebranded themselves when they moved to Washington. So depending on how you want to look at it, yeah, the Braves and Dodgers. But thanks, Matt, for hopping in there with that.
Like we like to call the Minnesota Twins the Washington Senator Senior.
Exactly.
And then you have the Washington Senator Juniors that play down in Texas.
Right.
And that's why Steph moved to Texas, because he wanted to root for the juniors.
Well, and both of them are playing against each other tomorrow.
Oh, well, you should both wear Washington Senators uniforms and
Sunday
and mess with each other.
So while we're on the topic, before we move on with Topps Living, we always recommend Topps Living Stat on Twitter to get all your statistical data from the Topps Living baseball. Topps Living is also now selling the singles. So if you'd rather go to him as opposed to going to eBay, I bought the Harold Baines and Ernie Banks along with a Ricky Henderson from the Gary V set.
Yeah.
And they were shipped securely and safely. They arrived at my doorstep just like 2 or 3 days after he received them. And of course, much like some of the other sellers like Twins Jake and stuff that have sold in the past, I'm sure he'd be willing to sit on them if you plan on buying every week and maybe just have him ship once a month or, whatever you guys work out. He's also selling the Topps Living Star Wars, which we haven't really discussed a whole bunch on here, which we probably should. But if you're also collecting the Star Wars, Han Solo came out this week. Definitely hit up Topps Living Stat and place your order. I don't know what kind of quantities he has, but obviously the more orders and more interest he gets, the more he'd be willing to buy and supply for us.
So he gets the About the Cards podcast stamp of approval.
He does. He does. He's a Cubs fan, so go figure, but that's all right.
Seems to be that most of our listeners are Cubs fans.
Yeah,
it's
there's
weird.
a lot.
It's weird, isn't it? There's like at least 3.
Yeah, and if you're looking for Ginter X, I know that was hard. It sold out in seconds. Like, dude, I got on like half hour after it went on sale, and I missed out. But our buddy Mike Summer on Twitter, like the Ohio State. I don't know if he'll have to change that since they're trying to buy the word the
trademark it. Yeah.
But he'll have. I think he's breaking it to flip. He's so I know he had some pretty good luck so far. So check out Mike there. We also had 2019. Topps Heritage high number drop today, $210 a box, 24 cards a pack, 9 cards per pack, 1 auto, relic, or mem card per pack or per box. The 225 card base set. The last 25 of those are short prints. None of the key rookies are in short prints, which is awesome. It's still that 1970s design. It has updated player moves and rookies who debuted in the season. So Tatis Jr., Alonso, Eloy, and Vladdy Jr. all on the base set, which is great. I think there was 2 rookies, and one of them was Chris Paddock of the
Chris Paddock, Thomas
Padres,
Ryan Helsley, Eric Swanson.
Okay, there were 4, and then Ichiro is probably the biggest names, veteran or retired star in there. Victor Robles, Andrew McCutchen, Danny Vogelbach, Adam Jones, Pence. So there's some pretty good names up there, but nobody that's going to kill you. And so I love the 70 set and what they did with this. And by the way, have you been following Brent Williams today?
Just left and right.
Just destroying high number. The man took a 3-week vacation or whatever from opening and was gone doing family stuff. Came back crushing this product. He's pulled 2 Acuna red autos.
Which is
2 Nolan Ryan autos, and one was a duel with, I think, DeGrom.
Now, since we're on the topic of Brent, he did pull a Nolan Ryan auto that he said was numbered the same and identical to the ones that came out in regular Heritage. So he was a little disappointed in that.
Yeah.
But good for Brent, because I know he was really disappointed that he wasn't able to open up Allen and Ginter this year.
Mm-hmm.
First time in forever. Harrison Ford ends up making an appearance, which he was extremely upset about because he'd been waiting for that name to show up on a Ginter checklist, and it just so happened. But he really needed that.
He needs some. Yeah, man, works like he work. If you know what he's doing, I mean, he's probably. I get messages from him at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock a.m. California time. So you're doing the math, and he's like not gone to bed. It's like 6 his time, and he's like, "Hey, I just finished, sorting your stuff. It'll be out." It's, he works hard. So there's 85 variations, variation cards in this set of, players and swaps and all that fun stuff that they offer. So you can have fun tracking that down. I picked up, just to let you know, man, I picked up 2 base sets of Heritage, one for my Heritage set. I'll work on the short prints on the side later on, but I want to tuck away with these 4 rookies. Series 2 had all these guys in there. This high number has it. I think this year's Series 2 might be our version of Update, even though Update's coming out. We can talk about that later when Update comes out. We get our hands on it later this year. But yeah, I thought stuff like this Rod Crew and Tony Oliva.
I actually have the actual card with this photo and his signature on it. So
that's cool.
Need to get a stamp for Topps Heritage.
Yeah, and little Raleigh fingers.
Right. Tony Perez.
Yeah, those are some of the best players of that era right there. Like a little Vladdy love, So he's doing well.
Oh, I'm sure. It's unfortunate as Hank Aaron gets older to start seeing his autograph
deteriorate.
Yeah. It's part of life.
It's what happens. We get what he's gonna be like 80 something years old.
Yeah, let's take a look. Right,
34, I think. Born in 34, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so he's 85.
Yeah.
And
I do math there.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim Seberg, I don't know how much you open, but you could reach out to him. He'll tell you. And we met Tim, or at least I ran into Tim a few different times at the Nationals. Great to meet him. Kentucky sports cards. So, yeah, he sent me. I have this right here on my desk. So it was great to meet Tim and hang out. And he liked the show, and he thinks that we do a good job, which is I guess his taste isn't that great in shows, but hey, we appreciate it. We try. Also, 2019 Bowman Sterling comes out today. That also is $210 a box. 5 packs per box, 6 cards per pack, 5 autographs. Makes his first standalone release since 2014. The base product, you're going to get 50. There's a 50 card base set of prospects and a 50 base card set of rookies. There's 1 auto in each pack. In the past, there was 3 autos per pack back in the day, if you remember that. And they have a Sterling die cut cast autos, and those are a case hit. So, I always loved Sterling. If you were, God, in like 10, 11, 12, 13, there was 18 autographs a box. There were 6 packs, 3 autos, and that's all that was in there. And that was a lot of the breakers that started out. That's what they cut their teeth on because it was easy to do. Pretty. The price was right, and you could open up quite a bit and have a good time. So I'm glad to see it back. I'm kind of excited to see that they have a base set this year with the prospects because those base cards look pretty nice. And I'm always been a big fan. Look at that, Garrett. So there's a guy I got to run down. This rookie class this year has been fun. So all the key rookies are in there.
I was upset when Bowman Sterling got discontinued because it was around back when I was not the A's super collector. I was just, still kind of finding my way within the hobby and what I wanted to ultimately collect. And I was upset. I thought Sterling was one of the best products, and I know I wasn't alone. That there were a lot of people that couldn't quite understand why it had been discontinued. So I'm glad to see it back, and I hope it's a success because for people that prospect and early autos of players, I'm excited to see what Sterling looks like, especially once it gets some of that in hand.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And then 2019 Panini Unparalleled football drops $110 a box, 8 packs per box, 8 cards per pack. You're going to get 2 autos, 1 mem, 7 parallels. There's a 300-card base set, 100 of which are rookies. They have a flashback look to them, kind of like late 90s, early 2000 insert cards. And they also have some overlooked veterans in the checklist. They haven't been in products before. And there are also these galactic parallels. They don't have serial numbers, but they're very scarce. And there's 1 vet per case and 1 galactic rookie every 2 cases. So, you hit one of those, you're doing pretty well. I think, we talked about Unparalleled. It looks all like parallels to me, but kind of a funky name. But like right there, that Tom Brady, I don't know what you call that, but that's
years past they've called that Rapture just because it's kind of diagonal. I don't know what they're calling it, but I'd like some of the names like Fireworks or Whirl or Cubic,
Infinite.
Astral.
Yeah. No, it's a good looking set. I just want to see if I can see some of the vets they're talking about, like Lack Edwards. I don't even know who that is, man. Lawrence Guy. Just scrolling through here. Dontrell Hilliard.
Jason Witten.
Yeah, who?
Jason Witten.
Who?
You heard me.
I know. Let's see. Pat Mahomes. I don't know who that is.
The pitcher for the Twins.
Oh, there you go. No, yeah, so there's just, Taysom Hill's got a card in here, which is kind of cool. Little gadget guy. William Golston. Zane Gonzalez, he got a kicker in here. K'Wan Williams. So just it's a nice checklist. So if you have a player that wasn't in a product, Ben Bernecker is in here. Will Parks. So there's just some interesting guys in the checklist. So check it out. You have a certain guy that maybe didn't have a card that went to your favorite university on your team. It's pretty cool. So. No, you're not the biggest football guys, but I thought it was pretty interesting.
It looks like a pretty solid checklist. I like the idea that they have kicker autos.
Yeah.
When you break a case, it's probably not the auto that you want. But for those of us huge team collectors, for either college or national, it's a nice touch.
I think we were talking about it last week, and I know I've talked to a few people about the cards.wordpress.com. We've been trying to keep up with product reviews. We've fallen a little bit behind over the last few weeks, but like I said last week, I've done a few for the football releases, and I'm sorry, but Panini has been knocking it out of the park. A lot of these products are extremely solid. And if you're a football collector or not sure collector, you this would be the year to start picking up some football just because it's good looking product.
All right, real quick from YouTube, Tim wants to know Daniel Jones buying or selling? Selling all day. I have the same feeling about him about the Tannehill. I pulled a Tannehill Contenders auto when he was a rookie. Instantly sold it back to the shop. Instantly. And it just, nope. He might play, put up some numbers, but I don't think he's the guy. What are you guys doing?
I don't know. I don't know. He's going to play at some point this year, right? I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But by mid-season at the very least, I mean, if the Giants were smart, they would just say, sorry, Eli, we don't care about your feelings and let him roll. He's obviously not the future at age 38. The Giants are a team in transition, so now would be the time to let him go, let him work with Barkley, let them build up that rapport. Personally, I don't know if I would, unless you got a sweetheart of a deal, I think I would hold until he starts. And to relate it to like baseball would be like the Bowman Chrome auto. The Giants are a team in transition. So, hello. Hey, can you turn that off, please? We're trying.
Yeah, no. Sorry. I wanted to see if it was still working. And real quick, if you like us on Periscope, you just tap the screen when it tells us.
Yeah, I would hold until he starts. And I think that would be the week leading up where you're going to have to face a serious question. Either you sell right then and there before he starts, or you wing in a prayer, hope that he has a solid week. And then, at least for this year, I don't think his market would be any higher.
No, he's not the next Tom Brady.
He's not. But, I mean, and again, if you're talking about selling something for $50 now versus potentially $100 when he starts, you really have to ask yourself, is that marginal cost that you're going to get, that slight appreciation value? It's different with guys like, say, if Kyler Murray was being held back and at least that's how I see it. I don't think Daniel Jones, even though he's only picked at 6th overall, I just don't see his value.
Yeah, in fact, I don't think I like any of the quarterbacks in this year's draft.
Sure.
To be amazing, to be the next great quarterback in the league, the next Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. I don't see anybody in this draft being that next guy. So it's a lot of second tier at best quarterbacks.
One of the guys that was on with Patrick Maher the other night on Sirius Radio, Mad Dog Radio, he's a Giants fan, and he came out and said, I hope Daniel Jones sucks so bad this year and next because he's looking for Trevor Lawrence in 2 years. And he thinks that Lawrence is going to be the guy that's going to lead the Giants for the next decade and a half. And so he's like, I don't believe in Jones. I don't think that he's going to be a good quarterback, but I'm literally rooting against him. And it's like, I wonder how many Giants fans feel that way.
Oh, I remember when they drafted him, I had some buddies over here. We were just dying. We were laughing out loud about it. So what's brewing next week's release is 2019 Topps Archives Baseball. If you like the Montreal Expos, Ryan Cracknell. They have 50 Expos autographs in the set.
Hell yeah, they do.
50. So they are really going after the Expos. 2019 Panini Chronicles Baseball, which, is Ben's favorite. 2019 Panini Origins Football. 2019 Panini National Treasures Collegiate Football. Right in time for the kickoff. 1819 Upper Deck Ultimate Collection, which I think we talked about a few weeks back, but that's finally dropping next week.
So before we move on to infield chatter, earlier in the show, at the top of the show, Tim spoke briefly about Replin. So if you haven't listened to the whole show, go back and definitely start over. But essentially, Replin helps sellers build their personal brand and sell online without high fees. There's a really cool integration with Twitter where you can connect your account. You can mention @OnReplin, spelled REPLIN, and your sale items will get posted on their marketplace, so buyers can find your stuff for sale a lot easier than browsing Twitter all day. Or it's really easy to miss stuff. So Tim listed a few things for sale recently. If anyone wants a good deal on any Ultra Pro supplies, check out his Replin profile at replin.com/TBS Sports Cards and let us know what you think. Last week during the show, while we were talking about it, took me all of 30 seconds to have the app downloaded on my phone, and I was already logged in within 90 seconds.
Did you see Dub? Dub was selling some stuff earlier this week, and he signed up with Replin and was tagging. He was selling stuff left and right.
I didn't, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not a big seller, but there, for me to have access to it is cool, and the fact that it only took me 90 seconds to get into the Play Store and have it ready to go, 90 seconds, it was pretty cool. And the whole idea behind it is, if you're selling on eBay and eBay exclusively, and then you decide to go over to Twitter, and I'm like, hey, Tim, you want to buy this card? And Tim's going to be like, I don't know you. Who are you? And now I've got to prove to Tim that I'm a trusted seller. Replin aids that by sharing
instantly. Yeah.
Cross platforms, which is cool because now Tim can buy from me saying, man, this guy's got 3,000 positive feedback as a seller on eBay, even though we're not on that platform buying and selling. So check him out if you haven't. Fantastic. Listen to last week's show. We had the CEO on.
Yeah, first 15 minutes of the show.
Yeah, fantastic guy, and he's getting back into the hobby himself. So, and which brings up one other side point. We've had a few people reach out to us recently. If anybody's out there that's just getting into the hobby or back into the hobby, please reach out via DM or just tag us on Twitter, because we'd love to have some folks on and get an idea of why you decided to get into the hobby or decided to get back into the hobby, as at least Tim and I did. I know Stefan never really had a true hiatus, but we'd like to hear your collecting story and what made you all of a sudden decide, like, hey, this is a good idea now.
And that's why Steph can sort cards in the dark.
That's
I've
right.
seen it. In the pitch black, eating pizza. I couldn't even see what I was eating. A guy couldn't read what was on his beer bottle, and Steph's over there sorting vintage out.
Well, I mean, if you can't sort 75 from 63 tops, I mean,
and the pitch black.
Y'all blind.
It's like this. If Stefan doesn't know it exists, it doesn't exist. I'm going to assume it's an ACO card.
So we're hopping Infield chat, our hobby talk section tonight. And Zion Williamson signs with Panini America, and it happened a little late for the national, and the reason being is that he had some issues with a previous agent he had signed and had to go through a legal process to get this new agency to help him out, but he finally officially signed. We did post an article. I wrote an article we posted that day on the website, and Steph will share that out in chat fields, and we'll tag it in the show notes and all that stuff when it comes out. We can always check it out on aboutthecards.wordpress.com. Why is this important that Zion signed with Panini and didn't sign with Upper Deck, or not just to sign with anybody and do Zion Williamson branded cards?
So much like Upper Deck's had several athletes in the past that have blocked from release.
Yeah, Jordan, company. LeBron, just to name a few.
Derek Jeter,
Wayne
Griffey
for a while. Yeah,
Gretzky, Griffey, sure. It hinders those who want to collect them on an official product, since we're now in the era of leagues only going with one team or one company, rather. So him signing with the company that currently has the basketball license, I believe.
Yep.
It is a huge deal in that now they can push them in all of their products and put them on the box lids and everything else. They can push them as, hey, come get the first official branded, not from the national, in an official pack open product. Panini Prism just shot through the roof in price this year.
Yeah.
Well, we don't run into this in baseball. For those of us that collect baseball, you don't get people signing exclusive deals with Panini and on unlicensed cards.
You know who they have? Strasburg.
Okay,
Ichiro.
So they might have here or there, but when's the last time we've seen it? Strasburg.
It's been a while. Topps has been pretty good about locking in the guys. So
and honestly, I mean, Strasburg was big back when it happened. When did he come up?
2010.
2010. It was 10 when he had all of his big rookies, and but he's a pitcher, and at least nowadays in the 2019 environment, if a big pitcher signed an exclusive deal with Panini, I don't think it would really affect Topps' product, because it's a pitcher, and we all know not to sign pitchers. I mean, if Zion,
so these are the LeBron James cards we get, and then also if they were autographed as well. Those are the cards we're getting of LeBron. So,
see, for a baseball equivalent, this would be like Mike Trout signing with Panini,
right? Yeah. Well, because he's a rookie.
Well, in 2011.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking Zion in today's market, it would be like Vladimir Guerrero or somebody, right?
Yeah.
One of the big names over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani. It would be a
crack
big...
a beer?
Diet Coke, I swear.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we're here to have fun. And if he wants to have a beer, we prefer it's the listeners and not the... I need me one of those Mojo Break shirts, by the way. Doug and Dan.
They're gone limited. I had to wrestle this one away from Dan and Doug.
Doesn't matter. They can make another one.
So, no, I think it's huge because had he done Upper Deck, we would have been Ben Simmons was the number one pick, has zero 76ers autograph cards. And it's a shame. Collectors really lose out. This really helps out LCSs. It helps out breakers. It helps out collectors. Everybody in the hobby, it helps do. My article kind of goes through a little bit about that. But is he the only one to carry the basketball product this year? Is this all we need? Ja Morant or his buddy RJ Barrett, Hunter, any of those guys do you think are going to be, or is it just all about Zion this year?
No, it's going to live and die with him. That doesn't take away anything from Morant or Barrett. I think Barrett's probably going to be, when all is said and done, it wouldn't surprise me if Barrett's not the best guy out of this class. I think Zion is going to be exploited a little bit, exposed for being undersized. I don't think he's any bit of 6'7" as he's listed.
I think he's Charles Barkley. Yeah, Charles Barkley's like 6'5", 6'6".
I don't even think he's that tall. I've heard people. I think Adam Shine was the one that said something about him only being 6 foot tall, and he stood next to Zion, and he wasn't that much taller. I think Barrett's going to be a stud. I just don't think that he's going to drive product, even it being in New York. It's just this is the guy that's going to drive all of the product. But it's kind of like 2012. Remember when you had Andrew Luck and RG3 and Trent Richardson and stuff, and then you had Foles who came out in the third round that year, and there were other guys deeper on that checklist that 2012 football was just stupid. I mean, it really was. There were so many names. I think Tannehill was in there.
Yep. Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, a ton of guys.
Trent Richardson, Doug Martin, David Wilson.
And don't sleep on Trent Richardson back then. I mean, he was like the dude.
Yeah.
I didn't get luck.
Steph's guy, Khalil.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russ Wilson.
Not really.
I mean, dude, I remember pulling a Trent Richardson auto, and I was just like, I sold it in the LCS same day for like $60, and which was about what it was worth at that time. And I was like, dude, cool.
We're about 60 cents now.
It might be. I could buy it back at a great return, but that's the thing is, I think there's going to be other guys in this product that aren't going to be the 2012 Andrew Luck that you'll be absolutely ecstatic getting. Maybe not this year, but within a year or so. If you sit on it.
Yeah. How did you guys celebrate National Baseball Card Day?
I worked.
Yeah,
12 hours.
But with baseball cards. Right?
You work with baseball cards, dude.
But Angela did run out and to the 3 of the local shops here and picked up a few packs here, a few packs there, and apparently I needed to have her pick my packs because once I got off work, my pack of Series 2 and Donruss were kind of trash. But if you share me,
share you. I don't know if I'll share with anybody. You and I have the same card now, by the way, my friends.
Jose Barrios. We've got a number to 25 Jeff McNeil rookie from Ginter. Mike Oz relic and the Mike Oz base card.
So you need to send me the 2 Mike Oz's so when we meet up with him, I can have him autograph them for you if you'd like.
Sure, one of them.
All right.
Which we need to do very soon.
Yeah,
I think we need to make that trip and get down there and meet him. And
so Ben, how did you celebrate National Baseball Card Day?
Yeah. I actually had a couple things going on in my personal life that I needed to attend to, so my thought was not this year. I missed out on the August 2nd A's giveaway, or August 3rd, excuse me. And when I went to look online, could not find them. Luckily, my dad kind of botched the search, and lo and behold, there they were. So he ended up picking up the 10-card A's giveaway set. I ended up getting done with my personal errands and decided, hey, I'm going to run out to Teammates in Carmichael, California, And the picture Steph's sharing right now is a picture of me and my second best friend.
Oh, that's actually me. I'm sharing it. I learned to share skills.
Okay.
I can share now.
So I ended up running into Tim and his lovely wife, Bianca, and I got to hold their son, Robbie, and flipped through some cards with Robbie, who just kind of sat there in my arm like, all right, Dad does this too.
Yeah.
I guess you knuckleheads. And so it was fun. We got to run into each other. You guys didn't stick around very, very long, and we left shortly after.
I had a fantasy draft earlier that day at my house, and my wife was very understanding. And then afterwards, I said, "Hey, I'm going to take you to lunch." But first, we got to stop at the baseball card shop. And I took her to Rick's Dessert Diner. And by the way, your dad has a heck of a dessert diner.
Yeah.
So
I've only been there a few times. I like them.
Instant diabetes, but it was worth it. It was tasty.
Yeah, we ended up stopping at California Cards and Comics in Elk Grove, California, on our way home, just because my dad had never been there, and if he needs baseball,
I bet he was really excited when he walked in.
Yeah, it's a nice shop. Brad and Julie, who own it, are fantastic. They're always nice, always been kind to my kids. But we ended up picking up a couple of packs of the free giveaway packs. Open up 4 packs total, not one Matt Chapman. So I do have 1 or 2 people who said they were going to send me one, but if anybody else has Matt Chapman.
I just happened to find one of his rookies, but it's not in an A's uni.
Of who? Matt Chapman?
Yeah.
Well, if it's a rookie card, it would still be in an A's uni. It would just be one of his minor league affiliates.
I think it was a Mariner.
Not Chapman.
Maybe?
Chapman's always been an A.
Are you thinking about Ryan Healy?
Maybe it was him.
Yeah, the same guy. Panini thinks so. So I celebrated a few different ways. First, I'll show you here. This is what my little purchase here at the shop. But on Friday, I went and we posted this on the site as well. I went and they used the coupon for a free Series 2 pack at Target. So if you made a purchase at Target, I think $10 or more with the coupon, you got a free pack of Series 2. So I bought a Topps Chrome blaster, and I pulled a Pete Alonso rookie, which I was happy. And then out of the Sepia pack, I pulled a Vlad Guerrero Jr. rookie card, which was awesome. My Series 2 pack was kind of sad. But then I went to Walmart, and I bought a hanger of Bowman Platinum with the Topps Gallery preview cards in there with the National Baseball Card Day logo. And that was all right. Didn't do too bad there. But I went into the shop on Saturday, and I got my pack, and I got the Kikuchi, and there was a Alex Gordon in there, and I got a Brad Keller auto, and I got a box of Series 1, and I paid $30 for everything you see in this photograph. And it was a fun $30 rip on Saturday. I went to a second shop, HR Sports Cards in downtown Sacramento, after the Dessert Diner, but they were completely out, and they'd had a really busy day. Parker, their manager, owner, I'm not sure exactly his title down there, said that they'd had a hell of a day, and so it was great.
Well, HR Cards, home of the Shohei Ohtani
Superfractor pull.
Superfractor that was pulled out.
Yep. So, and then don't forget, guys, this Saturday, Vlad Guerrero Jr., his National Baseball Card Day card with a special purchase will be released Saturday. And Ben and I were lucky enough to score one. We have some connections. So Ben had the card there. And one is so we could promote it a little bit here for people to go out, which is cool. So, it's nice we have some friends in the hobby that allow us to do that stuff. Bryce Harper was the one this week with the free purchase.
Yep.
So,
did you get one, by the way, Tim?
I did get a Bryce Harper. I did, yeah.
Okay.
I
have 3, so
I have 2, so I would. All right, good deal.
So,
what'd you guys think of the set? The checklist. It
Yeah,
has one player per team.
kind of like that, yeah.
It's not bad. I'm flipping through. You got Longoria, Snell, Betts, Verlander, Lindor, Votto, Torres, Jimenez. So you got some nice rookies: Cabrera, Machado, Stroman, some veterans, some rookies. Speaking of which, I've got an extra bet, so I need to send off to Mark Hoyle. So one of you guys remind me to do that within the next year.
Hey, you need to send that out to.
Let's do it another day, Steph.
Well, you did say when. You just said remind you.
Hardy hard. Let's move on to.
Yep. Speaking of moving on, I think me and you, Ben, are in agreement with Matt on Facebook saying that George Brett is overrated.
Oh, absolutely.
Matt's been banned. banned from the show.
I'm not even sure who he was. I actually had to do a Google search to find out. So,
someone posted an ad today about investing in sports cards, and one of them shows like a George Brett. You could have bought George Brett for 8 cents in 1980. By the way, Matt Blanton in the chat there, yeah, he's mad at me because he's my brother from another mother, and he's mad that I stole Dwayne Haskins from him, the Ohio State guy, one pick ahead of him in our dynasty draft, and I'm holding him ransom. So, yeah,
he's a Redskin. He's not going to pan out anyway.
Yeah, but I like to mess Matt. No, it's a good set. I like the players they picked from each team. It wasn't always the star of the team, but a fan favorite or a good player on the team. So,
I got about half the set, only 2 duplicates. So I think if this stuff starts getting listed on Sport Lots, or if anybody has a bunch of extras that they're willing to let go for, quarter a piece or so, I might end up putting the set together just because why not?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where to send mine then.
Yeah. I might have a couple. I have an Alex Gordon for you if you need one.
Yeah, I don't think I pulled a Gordon, so let's.
I have a handful. Arcides Aquino, outfielder of the Cincinnati Reds, making a big splash. He is the 6th player in the last 15 seasons to homer in 3 straight innings, joining Chris Bryant in 19, JD Martinez in 2017, Nolan Arenado in 17, Manny Machado in 2016, and our own Kevin Minch Wilson in 2005.
Oh yeah,
Minchie. His Bowman autos a few weeks ago, his Bowman Chrome First autos were selling for $2 or $3 a piece. They are selling for over $200 each right now. So
interesting tidbit. I threw that at Uncle Rich as a trivia question, and he couldn't nail off the recent guys without me telling him what team and what year. He kind of guessed around a little bit, but got most of them. And then I said 2005 Rangers, and his second guess was Kevin Minch.
Minch was a player, man. Even though he's about 5 foot something and 2+ something, and no hair, he got around.
And he's a good looking dude. Good looking dude.
Only his mom said that. By the way, this guy Aquino has no base or chrome cards in that release, so it was just the autograph. I know Ben put something out about him. Hey, we got to think about the juiced ball or something to that effect when a dude hits like 8 home runs in like 12 games or whatever it's been.
9 and 14, by the way.
Yeah, 9 and 14. He's like 6'3". Dan on Mojo said they saw him in spring training. He's about 6'3", 185 pounds or so. But we'll see. If you have him, sell him.
Yeah, you can't tell me that. And this is the problem. One of my biggest pet peeves in the hobby. And I know we have a tendency. I know I have a tendency to be negative. But, man, you didn't want the card 2 weeks ago. You didn't. Unless you're a Reds fan. And now all of a sudden, he goes on this home run spree. And all over Facebook, you start seeing, oh, let me see what Aquinos you got or Kinos you got. And it's like, why? You didn't want it yesterday. Dumb. It was a $5 card, and now all of a sudden it's selling for $200. You're literally buying at the height of the market.
Yeah,
it's 5,000% above what it was yesterday, and now you want it. It's like knucklehead. I think it was, I forget, Vintage Collect or Vintage Collect 2 on Twitter said that it's about time that he buys an Acuna Bowman Chrome, and the guy's a player, and he's gonna pay for it because it's an established market. And I was like, same thing happened with me and Matt Chapman. I never got one from 2014. All of a sudden he's a star, and now I've got to pay star prices. But you know what? Kevin Merrill, I didn't buy a whole bunch of him, and I had a chance to get a green auto and a gold auto, and it was just like, no, I'm good. Well, he gets traded last month to the Royals for Homer Bailey, and it's like, I'm glad that I didn't overdo it. I mean, and let's be honest, Merrill's hitting in the low 200s, nothing but speed. Yeah. Who knows if he ever pans out? He's a Royals kind of guy, right? Who else do they have? Terrence Gore and other guys.
Run, Billy, run. Billy Wilson. We're going back to the 80s. We're going to put the AstroTurf back in.
Billy Hamilton and Willie Wilson and guys that are speed and no power and no real average. But the idea behind it, Kevin Merrill could have been Matt Chapman, or Matt Chapman could have been Merrill and gone into trade. And
so real quick on this guy, 6'4", 220. He's 25 years old. He signed as a 16-year-old free agent to the Reds out of the Dominican. Before he had 28 home runs this year, 20 last year. Did not play in 18. He had one at bat in the major leagues in 18 and 17. He hit 17 home runs. He's had shown some power throughout, but his average is up and down. So low 200s to almost 300. Strikeouts, he's struck out 112 times last year, 80 times already this season in 77 games. So he's about a strikeout again. He's played 12 games in the major leagues. He's got 12 strikeouts. So he's going to strike out once a game, which in baseball nobody cares about anymore when you hit 8 home runs in 12 games or whatever it is now.
Bottom line is something's going on with the ball because there's too many guys that are hitting home runs at a stupid pace.
Did you see Pedro Martinez on MLB Network the other day?
Talking about how
the ball's smaller?
Yeah, the seams, yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
I saw a thing on the YouTube broadcast of the Twins game earlier. They were saying the Twins are projected to have 8 batters hit over 20 home runs this year.
Yeah.
Unprecedented.
Remember 30 or 35 was a ridiculous number?
Well, you remember a couple of years ago, Chris Carter had hit like 40-plus home runs for the Brewers. And I think it led the league, or it was amongst the National League leaders. And he couldn't get a job the next year. He was out of baseball.
Yeah.
You know? Guys like Mark Reynolds and other big home run hitters that can put up big numbers. Brandon Moss was another one where he basically baseball retired them because the one thing that they were good at, home runs. I'm sorry, I'm an A's fan, and Ramon Laureano's on pace before he got injured to hit 30-plus. He's not a home run hitter.
No.
He shouldn't be hitting 30.
I would love to have seen Adam Dunn and similar types play in this era.
Oh, yeah. So 2016, Chris Carter hit 41 home runs for the Brewers. The next year he played 62 games for the Yankees. And that was just on a deal that was just like,
that was like
we need somebody.
A minor league deal with no guaranteed monies. He comes up, he hits a couple home runs, plays a few games, and then they let him go, and he's gone. And, I've been listening to a lot of Ray Fosse talking on the A's broadcast about Jose Abreu. This is a great guy. He's a great player. He's a superstar. They definitely need to re-sign him. And it's like, he's a DH, and he means a lot to the White Sox, I'm sure. He's in his early 30s. He can't play a position. I mean, he's okay at first base. I don't want to devalue that. He's okay. But who's going to give him more than a 2-year, $30-35 million deal? That's it. And he'll be lucky if he gets that.
That's what happens.
5 years ago, he would have been 5 years, $100 million.
100, yeah.
Easy.
So, yeah. So Ken joined us. 10! Ken, I guessed 5, but we figured because, you're from down in Texas, and it would be 10! Hopefully that makes a meme. Speaking of the White Sox, Luis Robert, 2018 Bowman Superfractor sold this week. Dan Ravel tweeted out, and Seth's got a photo here. It was a 9.510, obviously. It's right there. It's all graded up, all protected. Sold for $51,660.
Okay.
So
through Golden Auctions.
You want my dad joke for this?
Yeah.
I think, Tim, you've read it, but Ben hasn't. PSA, more cut lines than the 1982 Pirates.
Woo! Hey-o!
Yep.
Are you suggesting that Doc Gooden should be their spokesman?
Of course.
All right.
And why do you bring up the 82 Pirates?
Well, if you haven't seen the cocaine suspensions, look up the Pirates in the 80s. Mr. Berra and everyone else who got suspended.
Well, look at a guy like Dave Parker. I mean, imagine what his career would have been if wait a minute.
You
Sorry.
had some issues?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at something there. Yeah, no. So it's crazy that this card drops for that much. The guy's not actually played yet in the major leagues. So
hey, a fool in his money, or soon departed, or soon separated. How does the saying go?
And the thing is that he's not a high school. It's not from a U.S. high school product. He's not from he's not playing college ball here. It takes us back. You remember Yusmani Tomas,
right?
Or Rusney Castillo,
yeah.
Or what's his name that plays for the White Sox?
Jimenez.
First baseman.
We just talked about him. Jose
Abreu.
Yeah, Jose Abreu. Thank you.
Thanks for paying attention just 20 seconds ago.
Yep.
Love you, Steph.
You're welcome.
Coke. I'm just warping you.
I was also looking at someone else.
Yeah.
Got distracted. Yeah.
Our buddy Waxtopia, he follows me. My buddies, George Bread Collectors, had a tweet and a poll I stole. What's the junkiest wax of all time? There's 190 votes. Your options were 88 Tops, 91 Donruss, 88 Donruss, 90 Donruss. Where's 91 Fleer or even 90 Fleer, which 90 are Fleer, definitely. Those two are terrible. Terrible. I liked how all the Donruss was listed there. So what do you guys think was voted as the worst or the junkiest wax of all time?
Of the options, I went 88 Tops. I mean, yeah, you have a few minor players, key players in there, but for the most part, it's a lot of junk. If given the choice, I definitely would have chose 90 Fleer because I don't think there's like much of any worse set out there.
Yeah, I went with 90 Donruss, which I know we've joked about a lot as being the one product we're certain is still being made.
Hey, how much was that box on Saturday? $4?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, Steph was at Teammates in Carmichael?
He might have been.
It was $4, and we laughed about if we go splitsies, $2 a piece, and it's like no.
I didn't want to waste $2.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the Sunday of the National, the boxes they had on sale. But
I to kind of piggyback on Steph's point about Fleer, I think just 1990, whether it's Tops, Donruss, or Fleer, maybe not as much Upper Deck, but
no, I much rather have 90 Tops than 90 Upper Deck.
It's just 90. Just
at least you get Frank Thomas and 90 Tops.
True. I love 90 Tops. Trust me, I love it. Guy. We're just talking about like
that might be the worst year overall for cards.
If you go out into the average card collector's garage who hasn't touched their stuff in 20, 30, 40 years, and you just look through it, you're going to find an overabundance of 1990. Period. Doesn't matter. It's just going to be, here's some more 90 Tops or more 90 Bowman or more 90 Upper Deck. It's just that's what it is.
Yeah. So Joe in our post here said, "Cool podcast. Wonder if I have gold. I've been sitting on my attic. He has to look through his cards and he goes, yikes, maybe I don't have any gold. I think mine are all the ones you just mentioned." Maybe gold, Joe, but I'll swing by. We'll talk, buddy.
Gold is in the eye of the beholder. Gold could be very valuable to some and worthless to others.
Yeah, I
should make them watch a certain documentary.
I picked 90 Donruss on this. So 88 Tops got 14% of the vote, 91 Donruss 23, and 88 Donruss 30. 90 Donruss won with 33% of the vote. I'm pretty sure Fleer would have won had it been in there.
See, I just don't buy the argument that 90 Donruss is the junkiest in that it has the aqueous test.
Yes, but that card stock, and had it been like that blue or the green that they did in those other releases, right, and not that red, it would have been a better set.
Oh, if it did the green, oh my god!
Or that blue, because they had those two. Too. Yeah, the best of baseball, and I forget what the other one was.
It was like the ALNL one.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. Yep. So at 90 Sports Card Blog tweeted this out. Anyone else think we need coaches back in products again?
Yes. I've been saying this for years.
He pictured Tom Landry and a picture of Jimmy Johnson. I like and also the manager cards.
Yeah.
Oh, and at least just in Heritage.
You know, was it this year or last year was the first year they didn't have managers in a long time? And it's like, nah, I look forward to it.
Last 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, I want a Bob Melvin. I want to be able to see,
I want a Nettie Yost.
Yeah, why not? I mean, just
Bruce Bochy.
In Heritage, especially what pissed me off the first year that they decided not to do it was this is Heritage. It's a throwback to the act. And sorry, but 1968, 69, 70, 71 had manager cards. So Heritage has part of Heritage high numbers. It doesn't have to be necessarily regular Heritage, but you not have not one but two releases to get this shit right. Sorry, to get the stuff right. And you I'm sorry. I've been asking for manager cards for years.
Yeah, look, Bill Belichick, the rookie card.
Yes, man.
Who doesn't want a Bill Belichick's Browns card? By the way, those starter jackets he's wearing in the 91 Pro set there are amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, guys, give me 1 sec. I messed something up here. I just want to fix it real quick.
That's no different than the start of the podcast.
Yeah, I almost got it right this time. I just shared my notes.
That could be a good user experience. Here's the notes. Just follow along.
Just read along.
Right.
Once it comes says, is
like
it a
little bouncy ball?
Is it a license issue or managers, coaches in a different union? I believe they might be, but again,
yeah, it might be one of those like Kevin Millar issues where he was a scab and isn't part of the MLBPA. But for like the coaches association, I mean, maybe that's so, but I think they need to be back.
Yeah.
Make it so. There's no reason not to have them, and if it's a licensing issue, get over it. Figure it out.
Number 2, make it so.
But that's a good point. It very well might be.
Yep. So how about 90 tops? Counterfeit Frank Thomas 90 tops. No name rookie gets graded. Gets BGS approval. Sports Card Info on Twitter. Andrew Chrisman posted an article on December, and this I'm going to go through a little bit of his article. There's more to it, but here's a picture of the card itself. On December 27th, 2018, a counterfeit 1990 tops Frank Thomas no name on front error rookie card found its way to BGS Beckett grading services. It should have been sent back to the individual who sent it in with a note stating it's not authentic. But what happened? No. But did that happen? No. Instead, it slipped through the cracks. It was slabbed into a BGS holder and labeled the real thing. Thanks to BGS, this dangerous card is now floating around the hobby. They signed it the right card number, 414A and everything. 414A is used for the authentic examples of this card versus of all cards of the time versus 414. For the standard Frank Thomas rookie, which contains his name. Checking the BGS serial number and gives it there even further makes you believe that it's real. Someone at BGS either didn't know what they were doing or were completely aware of their actions. In today's hobby, you just can't tell anymore. He goes into more details on why it's fake. He shows some examples and goes into very good detail. On July 28th, 2019, an eBay user, Infinsumia, sold this exact card, the same BGS serial number, for $3,000. It's unclear if the transaction went through or not, but I haven't seen it since. So
it seems like just looking at the two, it kind of seems like the counterfeit one almost went through like a chromium effect as far as the color and shading.
Yeah. Yeah, so it goes into really good detail. It's just one of those things. Guys, we're going to keep bringing this up, and we're not going to go back and harp on things that have happened unless there's updates to those things. But we're going to keep continuing to bring you things in the hobby that are popping up. We personally don't like the negative stuff. We want to have fun. This is a fun hobby we enjoy doing, but we want to make everyone aware, because I was talking to John Newman on his podcast. I believe 75% of the people in collecting, the collectors right now, or consider themselves collectors, currently do not know about the trim and the trimming scandal and the shill bidding and all of that alleged activity that's happening. I would say 75% of collectors do not know that's going on. And we're going to keep reporting on it. We're going to keep reporting on it. None of these guys are going to come out and talk because they've all lawyered up, which is probably the smartest thing that they can do at this time.
Yep.
But we're going to keep talking about it every week. And, we're not industry shills, as some people have said, because of a certain platform we're on. And I found that to be bullshit and whatever. I'm not, that's about all I want to say with it. Cause it's just a troll going after us. But this is the kind of stuff we're going to keep bringing. If you see this or know about this, send it our way. We want to report it. We want to get it out there, and we will let people know that it's going on.
Yeah, and a lot of this is indicative of where do you get your information. If you're just local card shop guy, I mean, Tim and I are in the same card shop on Saturday afternoon. If we had asked everybody what their thoughts were on this topic, I almost guarantee you everyone in that shop would have looked at us like we were stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one person, two people, it's possible. I mean, it was pretty crowded, so there was a lot of people to choose from. I'd say there was at least a dozen people there.
Dude, it was packed. There were a ton of kids in there too.
Yeah, a lot of kids, and it was cool. They were getting their free packs, and it was really encouraging. But a lot of it depends. I mean, are you getting your information from Twitter? You should know. You definitely should know if you're on Twitter. Facebook depends on the group that you're in. I mean, if you're in like Tobacco Row or something, I imagine it's prevalent because it's pre-war cards, and a lot of those have been touched up and trimmed.
But I still believe a good majority of collectors aren't on social media, and
Sure.
if they probably are, but not for collecting.
Right, and that's where you're getting your source information. Who knows about the trimming scandal, and who's really reporting on it?
Unless they saw the Washington Post article.
Either that, or I think Darren Ravel's talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if he's sharing it on Twitter and things, there's just not enough of the hobby that are plugged in. I mean, what percentage did you say?
I think 75%
Don't know. I'd probably say you're probably about right. I would say 25-30% probably no.
Yeah.
And I would say out of that, only probably 10 or 15% really no. Yeah. There's a difference between being aware and understanding and really being knowledgeable. So
I thought about putting an article together for the site about all of this stuff, and it just made me sad.
Yeah,
there's so much of it going on, and I don't think we're going to get any resolution out of it. So I'm just going to let the podcast kind of cover that for us, but know about it. And then we get to this story. So there was an article, there was a video in an article. The article was titled "Foul Ball: Did a New Jersey man get duped into buying $100,000 in bogus sports memorabilia?" So Charles Kerr viewed his collection as an investment, but now his family believes he was swindled by a man who bought Joe DiMaggio's personal collection. He was a retired firefighter from New Jersey and was so proud of his collection and so confident in his value, he would tell his longtime partner's daughter, Jennifer Sullivan, if she didn't have to worry about coming up with money to pay for college for her two children's college education because he had it taken care of. Not long after he suddenly died this past September, Sullivan learned that he had been that Kerr had been bamboozled, and that the collection he'd spent more than $100,000 building up of baseballs and bats signed by Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, and other greats was rife with items declared not genuine, and they were all sold by the same dealer. It all came from a guy's, and not directly from this guy, but the company Ralph Perullo of North Carolina owns. There was an interview, and Steph can share the link. But there's the article goes into great detail. There's also a really good video that kind of covers and shows everything. The news station that actually reported, it was an NBC channel, actually went to Perullo's website, bought some materials, had them authenticate. They bought them as authentic. They had a third party look at them. They said, these are fakes. And then they even got interviewed Perullo, and they didn't tell him. They said, hey, we have these 3 autographed baseballs, and one was a Willie Mays, and Perullo's looking at the ball, and he's like, hey, yeah, he goes, this is not Willie's autograph. Willie would not have signed this ball. It's not a major league ball. It's not the right texture. It's not the right signature. This is not a Willie Mays ball. And the lady goes, well, we bought it from you.
Mm-mm.
And he was completely blindsided. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes in here. So, if he denied everything that was going on, that could be the case. You could have shady people working for him. But this is why I completely stay away from memorabilia and autographs. I bought a handful at the National. I was cool. It was like a Brooks Robinson and a couple others, but I paid like $15 for them. If they end up and they have stickers of authenticity from companies I know, but if they're not real or whatever, I'm not gonna not be able to take care of business on my, because I have them. I talked to the RLCS owner, and he told me he's been in the hobby since he was 15 years old. He's never had a W2. He's been doing this over 30 years. He said that 8 out of 10 autographed memorabilia items are most likely fake.
If not more.
Yeah. Right? That's so scary.
This is one of those things where it'd probably be a good topic for us to discuss on a Sunday afternoon with somebody who knows, whether that's Greg who owns Teammates that you're talking about, or Rich Klein, or somebody that's been in the hobby for a while, specifically somebody that may be dealing in memorabilia. How the trimming scandal and the uncertainty about that kind of crosses over to memorabilia, because now as collectors, we have to start questioning everything. One of the guys that follows me on Twitter named Brad, he and his kids picked up a pack of the National Baseball Card Day, and they pulled a Blake Snell auto. And he asks me, is this real? And my first thought is, well, why wouldn't it be real, right? It's it's a sticker auto. It came out of that. But I think there was some innocence in his question. I really do. I'm sure, I think he's just getting back into the hobby, if I'm not mistaken. But it made me think, how many people out there are really questioning, people that know us, a lot of people that are experienced and educated are questioning. I recently bought a Mark McGwire bat with a COA from PSA. Is it truly real, or did I blow $80? I have to hope it's real. But if I was to sell it to one of you guys, I wouldn't sell it with 100% degree of certainty. It's unfortunate that that's what this has come to, but I think it might be an interesting conversation for kind of a crossover.
Yeah. No, I definitely believe.
That's hopefully where, as an A's fan, or, myself being a Twins fan, we'd get to know what individual people's signatures are now. Memorabilia is another story. That's kind of hard to tell, and you need to know certain in-depth things as far as like stamping and pressing and where they put marks, and nothing beats going to the stadium and actually buying it from their shop, because in theory those are as authenticated as possible.
Right.
If you start to get from there, you buy it from somebody at a shop, at a store that doesn't come with a certificate, but you recognize the signature. In my case, I bought the game used Killebrew hat. Now I've had it authenticated since, but I knew that the autograph at least was legitimate, and that the hat came from someone team issued. But that gets into that whole, could have been scammed. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's crazy. As we get through this last one, I promise, at hobby_scams on Twitter tweeted out they're building an app to track scams. Version 0.2 of our mobile app is being tested and still has a ways to go. Pull it up here. So they are building this out, the Scammers Exposed database. So
alleged scammers.
Alleged. Well, no, but it's they're the Scammers Exposed, app.
Right. Well,
that's
but
what I was calling. Yeah. So alleged scammers are
right.
Yeah.
For legal purposes, these are people that are alleged to have scammed someone.
Yes. So what do you guys think about having an app that does this?
Still has a ways to go. I think that having it done by a third party would be great. Not just, I did a trade with Ben. Hey, Tim, this is Ben's completely illegitimate. Add him to the app.
Yeah.
No, I'd want to see screenshots. I'd want to see text.
Yeah, and I think I have a feeling these guys are going to do their due diligence on it.
And I'm not saying that they aren't. But if that was shown and that's how they're going about before they add anyone, hey, that could come in handy. Definitely.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I admire their position and trying to better the hobby.
Sure.
I don't see this as something that's going to work. You're just going to end up setting yourself up, and the liability issue on their end has got to be huge, right? So if I'm doing a deal with Steph and according to the app, Steph's a good dude, and I've done all my due diligence, and the next thing I know, I get scammed by Steph. Well, I'm going to go back to the app and go, hey, wait a minute. You had his information on here. You had people upload things stating that this dude was good, and here I just got scammed. Or in turn, Steph followed through, and I'm the one on my end scamming. You know what I mean?
This is almost like where a product or a service might come in handy, where you can show that you're legitimate.
Yeah, if it's done right, I love this idea. The question, I mean, that as of right now, that's a big if. To me, you're asking for more problems. Trying to do away with problems.
Yeah, just maybe check some folks out. I like this. I'm having fun tonight, guys.
Yeah, it's a great show so far.
Our buddy Eric Norton, and Eric and I had, I went after him right a few months back, and we worked some things out, and I think we're friends now, and we understand each other, and I think that maybe I helped him see some things, and he helped me understand some things, and I think we're good there. But he tweeted out voting from the Fat Packs podcast handle. Voting for the 2019 Industry Summit Awards is now open. Categories include Set of the Year, Card of the Year, and many others. One of my favorites was Breaker of the Year. This is who I voted for. Be a voice in this year's voting by taking just a few moments to complete the brief survey. Legitimately took 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do.
If that, yeah.
Yeah, and the hardest thing was like Set of the Year.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I love that one. I love this one. I love that one. So they had some good. So Steph's going to show you how he's going to vote. All right, Steph, let's do this. Best baseball product of last year, 2018 Topps Heritage. Best basketball product. So this says 17-18 basketball. Panini Prism. Best football product. We're going to go with Nash. We're going to go with Contenders. Ooh. Best hockey product. I picked Upper Deck, by the way. But the cup, yeah. Best entertainment product. Oh, come on. Stranger Things Season 1.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
With an honorable mention for Star Wars Masterwork.
Yes.
Not
best
much
soccer product. I just picked World Cup.
Soccer fan, but I've seen a lot of really nice looking Prism.
Oh, there you go. Best racing product. This is for Val at NASCAR Radio. If you haven't listened to that podcast, check him out.
Eeny, meeny, money.
All right. Victory Lane. Best pop culture product.
Ooh.
Oh, A&G, by the way. Dude.
Gotta go A&G.
Yeah. Non-traditional release.
So, I mean, it would kind of blasphemous if we didn't go with Topps
Living. That's what I would. And this best autograph card. I mean, there's too many to name. I think I picked the Shohei one.
Brock Besser. It spelled his name wrong, by the way. There's 2 S's, if I'm not mistaken. Want to fact check me on that?
Yes, the guy the hockey player.
Brock Besser.
Yeah, there's 2 S's.
Thought so.
See, look at me learning hockey.
I know. It's slowly going
Come on, where's the applause, Ben? Let's see this. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You guys were talking hockey and soccer, and I tuned out.
Gotta go Ruth and Gehrig.
I think I've decided to start collecting next year. I'm going to start collecting Upper Deck Hockey Series 1 and 2.
Nice.
I have no idea what I'm doing. And so, Steph, I'll be asking you. And so don't take advantage of me when I go, hey, is this guy any good? And you're like, no, just send it my way.
You can always hit up Philly Puck fan, our friend James Kikowski, who's been on.
Yeah, and also, too, Nick Wasika.
And a good chance that Nick might have some photography in it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Gotta go with Ruth, Gehrig, Lazary, Barry, Berra, Mantle, Maris, Posada, Williams, and Pettit. Card of the year.
No Jeter, though, right? Oh.
Let's go with Angela. Give Angela a bonus pick. Product of the year.
Yeah, no, so this was super duper hard.
In that there's no Diamond Kings to select.
Of course.
I
know this is thrilling for all the guys listening on, but you need to check out the Industry Summit. Beckett now runs this thing. It's in Vegas this year, back in Vegas. And so they're doing all these votes. Here we go. Breaker of the year, hands down. Come on, you got to go with our guys, Doug and Dan and C-Rad over there.
Who else was on there?
Firehand breaks, the Clubhouse, Real Breaks, Top Shelf breaks, and Fantasy Sports breaks.
But for some reason, not Kraken Wax.
I've only heard of 3 of those. I obviously voted for Doug and Dan. I saw them and moved on. I didn't even care who else they were.
Now this one I got that was funny. Best cup manufacturer customer service. There wasn't an option that said what customer service, so I wanted to know. So you just go Cryptozoic. Yeah, I would say so because they came up that crazy statement with the fake artwork,
right?
And so
they handled that well.
Yeah.
Their unfortunate passing of their longtime social media guy,
their face.
It was kind of a shame not seeing him this year at the show. I got to go with Cryptozoic.
You mean George Nadal? Is that who we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, George was such a great part of the hobby.
This is my favorite, best ongoing promotion. So you had Panini first off the line, Panini NBA Player of the Day, NHL Player of the Day, Super Bowl Kid Reporter, Top Silver Packs, Upper Deck Overtime, or Upper Deck Tim Hortons. So you get donuts with that one. But so I picked silver packs.
You got to. There's a lot of single individual, much more available or semi-available.
Yeah.
But the Super Bowl Kid Reporter is just an awesome story.
No, yeah, that's my second favorite. I like the silver packs because it makes you go into the hobby store.
Yeah.
And in your shop, and it brings people to collecting. And like, dude, like Saturday when we were at the shop bed, didn't it feel good? There were so many people in there opening packs and talking sports, and just it was so entertaining, and the vibe in there was amazing. And that's what it's like on some of these release days. I try to go every Wednesday down there because there's guys busting packs and talking about what's coming out, and that's where I get a lot of my information. I couldn't go today because a stupid meeting. I had to be professional, and I couldn't leave. And I missed out, but I love to go down there and see what these guys are opening, because sometimes I might not get to open it, or I might not want to open it, or I can't afford to open it, but I can watch other guys bust it, and I can see what the reactions are. I can see what cards are coming out. It gives me a good idea, and I physically can see it. Sometimes they're like, here, give these away. Do this, here you go. So,
yeah. And so I went on YouTube and scrolled back. It took me 4 minutes to complete the survey.
Yeah, not bad. And so, not the best radio part of the show, but if you check us out on YouTube's Facebook Live and or Periscope, you can see what Steph was voting and how he voted. Open ballots here. So, really quick, the last topic is kind of a big one, and Ben touched on it earlier, returning to the hobby. So we actually had a state senator from Texas reach out to us that listens to the podcast, Jonathan Strickland. He is, and we're not bragging because he's a Texas state representative, House District 92. This is his last term because I saw he's not rerunning, but he reached out to us and said, "Hey, I'm getting back into the hobby. I found your show. I enjoy it. How can you help me?" And we get this question a lot, like, get back into the hobby and understand like the 2019 version of card collecting. And he said he would love to see some guests on the show talking about getting back into the hobby and why they are doing it, etc. And we're going to effort that and get some folks on. But we kind of came up with some key facts, and there's an article we're going to put together about this coming out. It's kind of an evergreen article, so we want to put our best foot forward. So we're working on it. But some terms. So I'm going to read off a term, and you guys explain. We'll go back and forth on the terms here. But so you got TTM. What the hell does TTM mean?
So that's through the mail, where you send something off to someone, have them sign it, or you're putting something in the mail for someone, sending it off. You most often see this where, like, during spring training or training camp, where people will send off multiple TTM packages to players with return postage to get them returned.
Yeah, our buddy Wax Pack 916.
Yeah, Steve.
He does this with sets. I think he's working on like 89 tops.
Mm-hmm.
So
he frequently TTMs.
Yeah. Yes. Very, very popular.
Okay. So Ben, this one's for you. PWE and BMWT.
So PWE is plain white envelope, which is obviously something we've talked about with our friend Bo Thompson at 1 Million Cubs and Mike Summer at the Mike Summer. What's funny about the other side of things is this came up quite a while back now, but I was actually talking to Doug on the phone yesterday for Mojo Breaks. And
look at you just talking with the celebs.
I'm like legends.
Tim, you got to step your game up.
Legends.
Yeah, both of you hang out with legends. I'm over here playing with my pud.
Anyhow, I was talking to Doug, and I had mentioned this terminology, and he's like, I don't even know what that means. Somebody had said, hey, I'll ship it to you PWE or BMWT. And I'm like, what the hell is PM? Say those letters again. What it stands for is obviously bubble mailer with tracking. And the only reason I was able to put it together myself was because they said PWE or BMWT. So I'm like, obviously the two are related and live in the same universe. So I mentioned that to Doug, and he goes, oh, yeah, duh. But, I mean, here's one of the largest breakers in the hobby who sends stuff BMWT all the time and didn't know the terminology. So I felt good about myself because he also was as naive to that one. But, yeah, so PWE, BMWT are often associated. You'll usually see them linked together.
Yeah, that's how you send stuff out.
Yeah.
Steph, what does RPA mean?
No idea. No. Rookie patch auto.
Correct.
So when you ever talk, it's like, oh, it's RPA, and it's always people like RPAs because it's that most likely from the rookie premiere of any of the sports. But it's got a patch on it, and it's got an autograph. So it's not a single colored watch. Usually it's multicolor. Sometimes it's thicker. It's a big old giant hunk of material, and you're gonna have an autograph on it, and it's the rookie year. So very sought after for collectors that like autographs, all together in a rookie year. It's kind of like the whole shebang shoved together. It's like that bowl at KFC with the nuggets and the potatoes and the gravy and the corn and the cheese. And
oh man, now you're talking about big time. Not just the 20-piece over at the McDonald's. You're talking about all fixings at the KFC.
Yeah, like they just shoved everything in a bowl over at KFC. Mm-hmm. So anyway, my buddy Matt that was on earlier, he used to go get those double downs, with the fried chicken sandwich thing, and then he would just order a large cup of gravy instead of getting a Mountain Dew, and that was his lunch.
Our RPAs are generally Panini related. You see them a lot in specifically football. I mean, they're in basketball as well, but
not as much.
If the conversation is football related, RPA is definitely going to be something you're going to be hearing a lot of.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. This is for Ben. PRC and XRC.
It's funny that you give this one to me.
Maybe I set it up that way.
Maybe you did. So the P, obviously we know what RC is. It's rookie card. P would stand for pre. X would stand for extra. They're interchangeable. One is exactly the same as the other. The 1985 Topps McGuire is his XRC. The 1987 Topps is just regular RC, or RRC should you want to get a little fancy. So
what's your R for? Real rookie card?
Anytime you see the PRC or the XRC notation, it's not their official rookie card, like say a 1987 Topps McGuire. It would be anything that predates that. So Topps now would be an XRC, not the RC. But in this day and age, any guy who comes out like a Vladimir Guerrero is going to have 1,001 XRCs. Yeah. Good luck finding the actual. Maybe it's an ARC, actual rookie card.
Well, and a good comparison there would be like Elite Extra Edition, where it's guys in single and double A. Yeah, whereas
fresh out of college
RC is right.
Yeah, that's what you would look Bowman Chrome.
Any Bowman product. Yeah. Any Bowman product.
Yeah. All right, Steph, we got a big one here. No. PSA, DNA, BGS, RCR.
1982 Pittsburgh. What? Sorry. So PSA obviously being the grading company, DNA being that they authenticated it. I'm not even positive necessarily what they stand for. Allegedly. They don't know what they stand for either. Beckett Grading Service, and then Rock Hard Review.
Rock Hard Review?
Yeah. So
Rock Hard Review. It's not raw. It's not raw review. It's Rock Hard.
I definitely said card. Rewind the tape. I might have to explain what rewind is to some of the people listening, but no. RCR, as opposed to PSA, is where you don't pay nearly as much, and I think the turnaround time's a little usually on site. But they'll look at your card and say, "Hey, if you were to submit this is what we think we would grade it."
Yeah. Okay. All right. Buying online. So there's a few options on buying online. Ben, eBay. Just a little background on buying on eBay. What to do, what not to do, what to look for, what not to,
So, yeah, this is a huge topic. We could talk about this for quite a while.
Yeah, no, and so we're going to keep it very 40,000 foot overview.
Yeah.
And then as we get people on and we do a collector spotlight or have somebody on the show and doing an interview with them, we'll get more into the nitty gritty. Plus that article we have coming out, we'll get into that. So
I suppose only buy singles. Any type of wax that you're looking are probably picked through, and it's not necessarily compromised. But if there's case hits involved, you know that the box you're buying probably is not that case hit box. So just kind of stay away from that. Be very careful of hot packs or anything that looks suspicious. ACO cards, buy from trusted sellers. Even then, you're going to have issues. But really, you're looking to buy cards at or below market worth as you determine that.
It's also too it's a good spot for like complete sets.
Yeah, good
team lots,
team
player
sets,
lots,
player lots. In fact, Brent Williams is going to have a ton of player lots, I'm sure, coming out from Heritage. He usually does 10, 15, 20, whatever he's got left over that would not be packed out in a master complete set or a master team set. So usually for singles, most of it's the new stuff that's coming out that, for people like myself that can't wait for the stuff to hit sport lots, got to have it today.
Yeah,
I mean that's like the half.
And it's also a good site to sell on. So if if you don't feel comfortable in dealing with stuff directly and selling, on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that, it's a good way to go sell cards and make a few bucks.
Another place to look for a set break where someone is breaking apart their set and you can pick off cards that you need for very reasonable prices from the same seller and get combined shipping.
Yeah. Yep. Steph, let's talk about Blowout.
Sure. It's a forum. I did.
Buying from Blowout.
Right. Yeah, well, so for the most part, they sell either unopened or much like BBCE, where they package and say this is authentic as from this year, from this set. Do you want a case? We have it for the most part. I know the talk of the huge national show was that, hey, do you have junk wax? Let me get that 1987 tops. Let me get that 1985 tops. And it was selling. This is one of the options where you can go and pick out boxes.
You mentioned Baseball Card Exchange was the one you mentioned earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Similar to. Yes. But it also has a pretty good forum and some other sections on the website.
You also have similar ones to them as well, to Blowout as well. David Adams, Steel City, Atlanta Sports Cards. All those guys usually they're gonna have new product. They're gonna have it, they're gonna have it at a pretty reasonable price unless it's a very hot product. And the last one I'll take is ComC. It's Check Out My Cards. And this is a website where you can send cards in to sell, and they'll process them, scan them. You put them up, they'll put them up, then you price them. You can sell them, but you also can go in and buy cards. You can go find singles, the autos, you can complete sets, all that different stuff you're seeing through there. Basically, we posted an interview we did with Tim Getch, their CEO, from the National this week, actually yesterday. It's on our YouTube page, and it's out as a podcast as well. But it goes through and it talks about, that they're up to about $1,000 card, but they're starting to get in that over $1,000 card market. So if you're looking for that, that's a really good place to go and find stuff, maybe some hard to find stuff you can't find elsewhere. A good spot. Also buying on sport lots is pretty cool. I think I said it was a time earlier this week. I said it was a time suck to sell on there. And also buying can be that way, but Ben's on there a lot. You can buy a lot of cards for 18 cents. You know what you're doing and take your time. You can really come away with some good deals. So
like an unsigned Heritage Pat Nashek rookie from 2007 that is virtually next to impossible to find anywhere else.
Yeah. Then there's also social media collecting. So you have blogs, Twitter, obviously, and so real quick, blogs. Ben, give us a little background on blogs, like, and how that helps you with basically kind of in collecting and something that you look to. And
yeah, a lot of it depends on what blog you're going to will determine, it's like anything, right? If you're looking for sports information, you're going to go to ESPN or the Athletic, so on and so forth. Whatever you're going to Bloomberg if you're looking for, the Dow information. Blogs are all going to be specified based off of the topics you're after. Certain people are going to be writing just personal experiences, like our friend Cardboard Icons has a lot of that. If you want selling information, go to Mike Summers. So it just depends on what you're after. But blogs can help. I mean, we have one as well. We have articles written up on our website, which are article based, but they're basically just a one-off of a blog. It's not specifically blog related, but it's just our thoughts on certain topics. So they definitely can be informational and educational, even if it's just for fun to read. I mean, I love reading a lot of our friends, whether it's Mike or Dub or Ben Aguirre, because it's good insight, and a lot of it reinforces what we think and feel, and sometimes it challenges what you think and feel.
Sure. And Steph, talk a little about Twitter as well.
So I kind of branched off from the blogs into Twitter, in that I started reading Night Owl's blogs and Card Junk's blogs and James B. Anama's blogs and several others, and I wanted to interact with them. And it's a little easier if you join Twitter to shoot them a quick message. Hey, I really like this article. Boop, sent, gone. But from when I started, 2009, 2010, 2011 or so, people slowly started adapting, and we've kind of got this little huge community going where, hey, did you see this? I have it. Do you want it? Sure, it's gone. Boop, done. Obviously don't just be trading with anyone, because you don't know who you're trading with that way. But you can kind of vet who you trade with and vet that, hey, this person's legit, and go through and say, hey, I've done deals with him. He has something for you. Here it is. Here's a picture. Send it off. And there's plenty of great people on there.
No, definitely. And it's fun. I mean, that's how we all really met. You also have Instagram. I'm not a big Instagram guy. I mean, I have one, but it's a good way. A lot of people trade and share through there and show off collections. Also, too, there's Facebook groups. You have the Net 54. They have a blog and a Facebook page. You have, Tobacco Road. There's a handful of other ones. Again,
is that Rainbow Road?
Not my favorite social media site. You also have some great websites.
Yes.
Trading card database is amazing.
Use it all the time at work.
Yes. And, so you can go on there and get a lot of information, and there's a lot of pictures and scans of cards that you can find.
All submitted by users. And one of the cool things that they recently instituted, and if you share with me, I'll show it. So if you type in, say, 1983 Fleer, and you go to the base set, and you want to go teams, right? If you go to the Oakland A's, because Ben likes those, they used to have it where they would have all the inserts on their own separate category, but now you have the individual cards for anybody that is tagged as an Oakland A, and it also now will load the inserts if there are any. So in this case, the team stickers. Now it's not.
I didn't even see that.
It's not really, super informative for 1983 Fleer, but imagine, for example, 2019 Bowman. Now I could go through and open each and every single one of these and pull out my Twins team list and have some huge checklist and try to organize it myself, or I can go to here, hit include, and boom, there's inserts, there's numbered cards, there's everything all on the same page.
And that's just from that Bowman set.
And that's just from this year's 2019 Bowman.
That's crazy. That is awesome.
And we talked to him at the National, and he's kind of hinted that they're working on getting a filtering, so where if you don't want all of the numbered cards, you just want the single base.
You can kind of pick and choose through the menu.
And the base inserts, or if you just want the superfractors. Boom, there.
Yeah,
done.
Super nice guy. I wish I had more time to hang out and talk with him. Also, there's another great site, Baseball Cardpedia. And, if that sounds familiar, it's like kind of like a Wikipedia for baseball cards.
Yes.
And this is really good. They have a ton of information on sets. Steph, just go through, click on a random on a random set.
So, sets by name. For example, since I did this earlier on the show to answer a question about the Donruss Aqueous, scroll down to Donruss, go to 1990. As soon as it loads, you got the description of the set, how many cards are in it, some of the descriptions as far as what's on the front, what's on the back, some of the subsets, as far as how it did, personal opinions aside, the distributions, whether it was wax, how many cards came, where it was distributed, so as far as U.S. and Canadian, cello, rack, blisters, factory sets, of course. And then, again, not really super informative for 1990 Donruss, but if you were to pull up Bowman, they would have all of the insertion ratios. So like this is 1 in every 4 packs. This is 1 in every 12. The promos, the base set notes.
I liked how they had the promo cards up there too.
The cards. And then, he writes up essentially everything that I just copy and pasted into the chat.
So what is the Aqueous test? Explain that a little bit as well.
Sure. I'll pull up one here.
So this was only in 90 Donruss, correct?
It was initially a test run in 90 Donruss. They've kind of used it as parallels and some newer football, baseball sets. But essentially, they were kind of testing like a different type wax format on the cards, I believe. And they stamped all of them Aqueous test. Now, naturally, these weren't supposed to leave the factory. They did through one of the local card shops and a couple other venues. They sold through card shows, and they're out there. They exist. I have one. I have a Kirby Puckett graded.
Nice.
Authentic.
Yeah, so those are two of my favorite sites to go to for information. Did I miss one that were like, hey, like this?
I'll add the two guys behind Baseball Cardpedia, both super nice, both Chris's, but you think I'm pedantic about minor stats and spreadsheets and everything else. These guys are just as insane on their details and knowledge.
The other one I would mention too that that you might want to use is, where did it go? My brain. So there we go. Group break checklist too. So if you're looking to get a group break, we're going to talk about that coming up here in a second. It's a good way to see what teams, what's going on there. So breaking. So a little bit about breaking. So there's a couple different configurations that the breakers do, and breakers have been around since the early 2009s, 10s, right?
Yeah, right about when we all kind of came back.
Yeah. And so what they do is they usually have breaks of cases where a product that normally like maybe you couldn't buy individually, but you get a chance at getting a case hit or into a very high-end level product for a low price point where you can either get a team, one of the teams in the selected sport. They'll do a random where they randomize all the teams and you get a random team and everybody pays the same price because most of the time the teams are tiered based on what they have in there, or it's a player. So they might do players and
like a smaller set maybe.
Yeah, and do that, or like in a Bowman.
Yeah.
You can buy I want to buy a Vlad Guerrero spot, so all the Vlad Guerrero cards come to me, and when they do the break, the breakers, like if you have the A's or the Royals or the Giants or the Phillies or whatever, you get every card that has those players on there. Now, some with the dual cards, where it's like an A and a Philly, they might have a certain rule, like it goes to the guy on the left or the guy on the right, or they random it between the two teams, whatever they're
top, or the Washington Senators go to this team, that team, defunct wise.
Yeah, so a bunch of different ways there, and it's you can buy into breaks for like $5. I've bought into breaks for $5, and you can buy into breaks for $5,000.
Yep.
And they have those out there. Some breakers we've talked about to check out. What I'm wearing this shirt, Dan and Doug at Mojo Break with C-Rad over there. These guys have been doing it since 2010. It's almost a full decade. I think Ben's bought in with them before. I've bought in with them. They're the only ones that I use when I do breaking. And they're upfront, honest. They do a great job. They did not pay me to wear this shirt. I actually had to wrestle them for it. We were on, Steph, we met them. I mean, they're great guys. I mean, Ben was talking with the legend that is Dan. Or Doug, I'm sorry, Doug Caskey.
Same thing.
Yeah, they're the same guy.
Both legends.
There's Kraken Wax does it. He does it for charity. Blowout TV does it. They have cheap fun breaks with Houdini, which are they're always busting a ton of good stuff. Top Shelf Breaks is a big one. He just opened a new show in Chicago the week of the Nationals, so he had a party there. There's other guys that are out there. So find your guy. Some people like it. Like there's a guy locally here in Sacramento, Cardsmith Breaks.
I would not recommend Sam. He's not a good dude.
Okay, well, so you say that, right? And I don't know him, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is, I brought this. Somebody asked me about him because they knew I was from Sacramento. So I don't know the dude. I've heard mixed reviews. He goes, "Well, I like his style."
Yeah, he can like his style, but he's shady. He's a scammer, and he strong-armed the local LCS when Chris owned it, saying that Chris shouldn't have his own break DMP cards, DMP breaks when he owned it. Sam's like, dude, I'm your breaker now. And when Chris is like, no, he's like, cool, I'll just open up a shop across town, put you out of business. And Chris is like, you can leave my store. Sam's not a good dude. And he got into all that stuff with Hero Sports back in 2012, which has recently come out as a scam product and is part of this whole scandal of trimming cards and putting them into prepackaged cases. So Cardsmith Breaks is a good example of a guy you should avoid.
And my thought is because I asked the guy like why,
right?
And he's like, I like and the whole reason I bring it up is one is a warning, but two also is you got to enjoy the person that's breaking. And
sure,
they like Dan and Doug talk sports, or they talk about the cards or going to Taco Bell or whatever, and they do. There's a little bit of entertainment when you're doing it. They're just not opening packs and going here you go, and they'll talk shit about the product. They're gonna be honest, like this is crap. I remember one time they opened a case and they said this case sucked. We're gonna get you another box, and they went over and pulled a box of something else and to open it up to give to the guys that were in the break because they felt so bad because it was a shitty case, and they'll call, and so it's great. And so checking out breaking and it's fun, but it can also be one of those addicting things where you have cards on demand. So,
sure. Well, and one more thing to check with breaking in particular is they'll normally have all of their terms on their website before you order, but I would check to see whether you're getting all of the cards or if you're only getting the hit auto relics unless requested, or if what their policy for if you get none.
Yeah,
by happenstance.
So real quick, not everybody's gonna get. Sometimes not everybody will get a card, like say tribute, right? Also, too, if you buy in a break and you find out that check, like you buy the Marlins in a break and you find out they have no cards in tribute,
2 cards base,
2 cards, yeah. they probably shouldn't have sold the spot, right? Unless you're paying $1 for the spot. If they're not sending all the base, sometimes I question that, but look at the pricing versus other guys now. And this is just personal experience. Mojo usually when they do like Bowman, the first 10 or 12 cases they send you everything. After that, they'll do cheaper breaks where they'll just send you the numbered, the parallels, the autographs, and then the base, the paper base, all of that stuff they're donating to Cards for Kids or whatever that charity is. They always end up donating, pounds of cards for that stuff. So be smart and look into it. And if you're not sure, get on one of the social media sites and ask them, hey, who do you break with? What do you think of this guy? What do you think of these guys? What do you think of this gal? and try and find somebody. There's tons of breakers out there. Maybe your shop does it. Maybe you have a buddy, ask him who he's doing with. So it's just one of those things. Be smart. If you have questions, reach out to us. I know we know a lot of people. And as we do in the show tonight, Tim had the comment. He said, "A great podcast with ComC. I get what it is now. Thanks." So yeah, like I said, check it out. It's a good like half hour or so we spent with their CEO. They have an app coming out which looks pretty awesome. He couldn't show the camera, but he showed us, and it looks pretty neat and what they're going to be able to do with that. So check it out, and listen to it. We did another one with Brian Flynn, who's a writer. We spoke about them last week. The audio is not great, and so I might put it on the website. On the YouTube page, but I'm not going to send it out as a podcast just because the audio is not amazing.
Sure.
And
where we were situated, you had everyone walking back and forth, and we were in a general hallway, but you had echoing issues and some other stuff. So hopefully, where you post it, if people go looking for it, they're not expecting 1010 audio video.
Yeah, but it was fun. So any final thoughts as we get out tonight?
No, it was a good show.
Long one.
A lot of good information in there. Just a quick reminder: if you are new to the hobby or getting back into the hobby after a hiatus, hit us up. Let us know, and we'll see about trying to get you scheduled on the show to talk to you about some of those questions. As Tim mentioned, one of our listeners who happens to be a state senator, which is pretty cool, listening, getting back into the hobby, wanted to kind of share his story. We might reach out to see if we can get him on.
We're not doing the Oscar Martinez.
We're not doing Oscar Martinez. No, but if he's seen the show, he might find a kick out of that. But hey,
state senator.
If he's listening to tonight's show, hey, you are invited on, sir. Let's do it.
Let me know. Hit us up.
Yeah.
And one thing to keep an eye out for through the donations to my coworker, we've been getting a lot of printing sheets. These are only half of them. I'm still taking pictures. But once I get all of them photoed, I will have them up, and you guys can see what they look like. The cards look like before they get cut.
Yeah, my favorite was the 91 post set. I remember eating a lot of cereal to get those cards.
Somewhere up here.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones. There you go.
Boop.
Yeah.
So look forward to seeing that.
Dude. Tim coached some guy named Walker Bueller in Little League. Really? That's awesome. He's a pretty good kid, pretty good pitcher. Probably all because of Tim, because your name's Tim, and we know right off the bat you're a good guy.
Now
CEO's name's Tim, and it's like,
Now you're stretching it a little bit, but hey, maybe this is a good segue into getting Tim onto the show.
Hey,
and he can have his story told, because that is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m., 10 Central on YouTube, Facebook Live now, and also Periscope. Make sure to subscribe and review on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter at About the Cards. Follow Ben at Our Trading Cards. Follow Steph at John Quacks Twins. You always follow me at Big Shep79. Make sure you check out aboutthecards.wordpress.com for our articles, checklist, reviews, all that fun jazz. And make sure to share your hobby stories. Great poll. Send your questions our way and keep collecting. We will see you all next week as we can stay under the 2-hour mark. I'll talk to you then. Later.
Yep. Have a great week.